Hey guys, Nebraska Farm Boy here, and we live in a world where true biblical friendship is all but disappeared. As teenagers become more and more childish, it's no wonder that they fight with each other like toddlers and don't want to share their toys. Relationships seem to be as cheap as bubblegum adjusted for inflation, and everybody is just as selfish as spit. People seem to want to be friends for what they can get out of it. They don't really care about serving the other person, and friendships have really become a one-sided affair, which really is not going to work as a friendship at all. Anyhow, today we're going to be talking to my friend Sam. He's a great guy. He's a protector, die-hard Christian like me, and that's kind of why we're friends. You know, he's a man, you know, and he's willing to take responsibility for his side of the friendship. Anyways, I'm not going to ruin our conversation for you, so here we go. So you probably have about the same opinion as me as to friendship is really in crisis, probably because most people don't really understand what true friendship really means. So I guess to start, what was your kind of experience with friendship growing up?
Well, I had a few friends growing up, but most of the time it wasn't a very deep friendship. A lot of the times it was very shallow. Most of my friends were more into the, I would say, video game or technology side, and I was definitely an outdoors guy, so never really was connected. Not to mention, I don't think most of my friends back then were believers, and so they weren't, our friendship wasn't based off of that.
Right, yeah. Kind of the same experience here. Of course, when you're younger, so long as you aren't an entire jerk or the other person is an entire brat, then you're probably going to be able to get along, going to be able to play Nerfs without any Nerfs because you lost all them in the tall grass.
Yeah.
But as you grow older, you know, I think it's important. It's important that you're spending time with the right people. And when I talk about being friends, it's not about being friends with everybody. You should be friendly towards all, but your close friends should be few. And what would you say would be some characteristics of what you would want in a close friend? And I hope maybe I fit some of those characteristics. But
Well, first one and the most important is a believer. You don't want someone who's not believing the same way as you and is causing you to go off the wrong way. Another thing is honesty. That's a big thing. Also, trust, being a very, not overly trusting, like in a almost flippant or just trusting anything, but willing to trust. Also, one thing that I would look for in a friend is being able to immediately say, so like me with you, and I can think of several times where I said something, you say, hey, that was a little out of line. And I said, okay, copy that, and we move on. And we had a great time the rest of that day. Instead of just letting things build up until then it's a big thing, and then that basically divides the friendship. It's just a, hey, that kind of hurt, or hey, that was out of line. And then you deal with it, and then you move on.
yeah, that's great. That's exactly what I was thinking. Probably why we're friends, you know. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely important that you have that you believe core values. I mean, we could argue about when Jesus is going to return and all that stuff. I mean, we don't know that anyway.
And different optics.
Yeah, and different optics, and whether to hold our knives in a straight or a reverse grip. You know, we can argue about all that stuff all day, and it won't affect our friendship. But really, it's important that you have core beliefs, and you know, like we emphasize on this channel all the time, protector mindset. It doesn't mean that all my friends are going to have to carry as many knives as I do. It's important that they have things that they're willing to die for, you know?
Yeah.
I know that you like to use the word warriors, and it means, we use it essentially the same way. But definitely it's important that you are Christians and that you're willing to be men, really. Those abstract friendships are generally people are lacking responsibility, and they're also not really willing to grow up. And to be honest, being friends is a lot of hard work sometimes. It can be, and it's about swallowing your pride and just.
We actually got into a discussion about that just the other day.
Yes, we did. We talk about that a lot because.
Well,
just an inside information. We are always training. We kind of let our opinions get in the way of each other, and then we have to make up the next day over email. So,
or however you do if it goes off for a week.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing, just like I kind of mentioned earlier, is there's that verse where it talks about do not let the sun go down on your anger. And I definitely work to not let arguments not only between friends but in family not go on. But you don't want your argument going on and on. We definitely try to deal with it the next day. Sometimes we're not able to. But, there is the next week when we see each other at church. So we definitely want to work, and we try to just start off that, hey, sorry, I kind of let my pride get in the way. And then we just move on. We don't reminisce about it. We're done. We're good. And we keep having fun for the rest of the time.
So yeah, guys, that is what friendship is really all about. It's about putting the other person ahead of yourself, and if they do that back towards you, you're going to have a cohesive relationship. Of course, the other person does have to hold up their end of the deal. If they aren't, that's not going to be a good friendship. It's not all on you, but really, if you are focused on your part, generally the other person will fulfill their part. So, without any further ado, this is Nebraska Farm Boy. Be strong, be men, and fear God, and we will see you next time.